Hello and welcome to the Extremis Publishing Podcast. I'm Tom Christie. It's a great pleasure to be broadcasting to you today from Forth Valley College's Stirling campus, and the topic is one that's very close to my heart, lifelong learning. Joining us today is a brand new friend of the podcast who is Karyn King, the Operations Manager at Forth Valley College. So Karyn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Tom. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, my relationship with Forth Valley College goes back a long time, actually, because I started a course in the late 90s at what was then Falkirk College of Technology. And I was really blown away then by just how many things were on offer. But of course, things have changed dramatically in the decades in between, because Forth Valley College now covers Clackmannan, Falkirk and Stirling, and the range of courses is quite amazing. What can you tell us about what's coming up in the months ahead?
So we've got a new intake of students starting in August, and we're looking forward to welcoming probably around 15,000 students across the three campuses. So it's going to be a very, very busy time. We have a range of courses available within Forth Valley College, so lots of different ones. From in Stirling campus we focus on creative industries, hospitality, events, tourism and construction. In the Falkirk campus it's all about construction, plumbing, engineering, and our social subjects and business subjects as well. And Clacks is a lot about healthcare, and a little bit of hospitality and computing thrown in there as well. So there's a big mix and a huge amount of students that will be positively impacted by the courses that we offer.
So let's have a look at some of those topics in a bit more detail, because I mean that's a really wide range of different subject areas. Something like tourism, for instance, I think is a subject of perennial interest, particularly here in Scotland, not just because it's such a driver of employment, but also because I think it is a subject that people find genuinely interesting from a cultural and heritage point of view, from a historical point of view, and certainly, you know, with Extremis we published a number of different travel guides, including the Heart 200 book, which is based here in the Stirlingshire area. So what, for instance, about the tourism syllabus interests people have you found?
So tourism has been a very interesting one over the last few years, mainly due to COVID, which obviously had a really negative impact on the tourism industry, and we're still recovering from that in Scotland, I think. But the signs are now good, and I think that people do see it really intrinsically linked to Scotland. As you said, you know, I think that tourism and Scotland go hand in hand, and that is why we get a lot of students wanting to come and study tourism here. Now we do a range of courses from level 5 right up to level 8 courses, and within that they do a broad range of core subjects, such as they could do anything between tour guiding to heritage to food tourism. So there's a broad range, and I think that's one of the areas that really attracts people to come and study it, because they can diversify. Once they've studied, they can kind of go, okay, well actually I really want to go into visitor attractions, or I would like to go into travel agency, or I would like to go into something completely different. You know, they could even do marketing or anything like that. So I think it's just got a broad appeal, to be honest, for people as well, particularly, and you get a lot of international students as well, and then they can articulate onto the University of Stirling as well to do their degree afterwards, which has been really great.
Yeah, because beyond that subject of transferable skills, hospitality is another area which, you know, is full of different opportunities, and again something that I think Scotland's famous for, isn't it? So I mean, is that something that you find is interesting students?
Yeah, I mean, hospitality has always been a huge area for us at the college, and you know, we have our very popular gallery training restaurant. We do have some really state-of-the-art training facilities and some great partnerships in the local community as well with employers, which really helps support what we're trying to do with hospitality. I think the areas of popularity are definitely amongst cooking and baking, and events management, but these all sort of tie together. And along with tourism as well, you know, I mean, food tourism within Scotland is an ever increasing area as well. So we really try and focus and make sure that people are employable. I think they can see a definite path for when they're finished their studies. You know, they're very employable, they've learned the skills, they've put the hard work in, and I think we're recognised as you know, developing really great students that are ready to go into employment. And I think students themselves see that, okay, well, I know that if I go and study professional cookery, I can become a chef, and they quite like that, definitive sort of pathway that we offer. But yeah, hospitality is ever growing, from schools to higher level programs. It's a massive area of growth for us, and we look forward to continuing expanding.
And I mean, I suppose even topics like food history, which have such growth interest now, even things like that, I imagine, would fascinate people, and is perhaps another kind of positive offshoot of people's studies. So let's talk a little bit about creative industries as well, because as listeners will know, Extremis Publishing has been involved in a writing for publication course over the last 3 terms at Forth Valley College. But there is so much going on here, even things like radio, and video editing, and so many other subjects besides. So, I mean, is this another area that people are finding really engaging?
Yes, I mean, these areas are always extremely popular. We have a very vibrant department with art and design, photography, sound production. We've got our very own radio station here as well, working sort of radio production area, along with audio-visual, and we're also embarking on a really exciting film and media course next year as well, which is being subsidised by Screen Scotland, which is an absolutely fantastic opportunity for us and our students. So yeah, it's a really vibrant part of the college community, I would say, and always really heavily subscribed, which I think pays testament to that. And I think pays testament to the fact that we're in Stirling as well. I think there's a lot of cultural opportunities here, to work in that industry. So yeah, extremely popular nowadays, definitely.
Yeah. And on the subject, actually, of film production, something that's topical not just because of the new film studio that's opening here in Stirling in the months ahead, but also the fact that Forth Valley College and the Stirling campus in particular has been a location of a TV production just recently, hasn't it?
It certainly has, yes. We were in an episode of Rebus, the new Rebus, which was fantastic. It was filmed, I want to say it was last summer, and here in our Stirling campus, and they basically took over the top floor and made it into a film studio, and it was quite exciting to be part of, and even more exciting when you actually watched the episode and you could identify the areas of the college that were involved in it. So yeah, fantastic opportunity, and it's great to showcase Stirling and the campus, the college itself.
Yeah, because it's one of those really scenic places, I suppose, but it's when you really get into the detail of places that, like for instance, Loch Lomond and Killin and all of those other Stirlingshire areas, and even Clackmannan. I think it was at Clackmannanshire Bridge, I think, featured in Cloud Atlas. So I mean, there's all kinds of different things going on here, and I imagine anybody who's a sort of budding film production enthusiast or director or actor will find so much here that there is to engage with and to get involved with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's only on the increase, as you say, with the new film studios being built, and it's a massive boost for the students here and for what we're trying to do as well. And I think we'll only see positive results from that, definitely.
So on top of the various different courses that are being offered all the year round, there's also a really wide variety of evening classes that are available. Would you like to say a little bit more about the opportunities that these offer for lifelong learning and for students of all ages?
Yeah, I mean, I think the evening classes are really, really important, and particularly, as you say, for adult learners and lifelong learning. I think it gives people, the opportunity to come back and do tasters of things that they think they might enjoy, or, it can even be people that are doing career changing, or they need to get extra qualifications for their day job. I mean, I myself was a product of lifelong learning, did an evening class many years ago now in teaching adult education, which is how I've ended up where I am today. And it was the best thing I ever did. So, so I'm a great advocate for, putting your hand up and sort of going, okay, well, I've always wanted to try that, and then let's see where it takes you. But we also have a lot of opportunities just for leisure classes as well. I mean, your evening class has been really successful, the writing for publication. We've also got archaeology, Digging Stirling, which is another evening class which has just gone from strength to strength. And, all the cooking and baking and floristry, all these ones, we do print screening, we do, a huge range of evening classes, particularly in the creative industries, hospitality areas. They seem to be really popular. So yeah, I think that they're fantastic for the community and for people to come and try things that they might not have tried before and give that opportunity. So yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly feedback that I've had at the writing for publication night class, is the fact that so many people are just blown away by the amount of variety that's on offer. Things like yoga and floristry, and all those various different subjects. So if someone wanted to find out more about how to engage with those evening classes and just to see what's available, how would they go about it?
I mean, I would definitely say check out the website. All the courses are on there, and they'll also give you a guide as to what to expect from the evening class. And they also tell you, how many places are left, so you get a feeling for how, the popular ones. You have to kind of book them early. Things like floristry, bakery, writing for publication, digging, sterling. These kind of ones tend to go quite fast, so you do get a feel for that when you start having a look through the website. And then just get in touch with the college, and they'll put you in touch with the right people from the right departments if you need further information on it.
Now, Forth Valley College is one of Scotland's top providers of qualifications. Not just at degree level though, there's a whole variety of different qualifications available. What kind of qualifications are accessible for people, coming into various different disciplines?
So there's a huge range of qualifications, everything from level 3, SCQF level 3, right up to SCQF level 8 and then degree level as well. So a huge range, and I mean, we do theory-based, we do vocational-based, we do, we have awarding bodies such as ECITB, so apprenticeships and engineering, and we work closely with INEOS. So I mean, there's a huge range of classroom-based learning, work-based learning, apprenticeships. We work internationally. There's huge amount on offer at Forth Valley College, and I think it's that fact that we can diversify and offer lots of different things to lots of different people is what keeps us relevant and keeps us popular.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting point actually, because it's often said that if you're a student in high school at the moment, there's a 60% chance that the job that you will end up doing in adult life hasn't yet been created. So I think that means that the development of courses and the evolution of different disciplines is really important. So what do you think the next 5 to 10 years holds in terms of the changing market?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that I totally agree with that statement, that a lot of these jobs haven't been created yet. And I think that for us within college, we're in a fortunate position in some ways that we can really shape our curriculum to what the community needs and to what the economy needs, both locally and nationally. So we do have that flexibility that maybe schools don't have as much of. We do obviously have core subjects and core skills that they have to achieve while they're studying here, but the actual curriculum, we can, as managers here, we can sort of say, all right, okay, well, we know this is going to be popular or this is becoming less popular, and we can then diversify and shape that curriculum to make sure it's meeting the needs of employers, meeting the needs of students, and protecting the future workforce. So, and I think that goes again for returning learners, people who are career changers or who are diversifying later in life as well, and supports the lifelong learning that's really important.
Yeah, because that's one of the things really about further education. It really has been back in the headlines recently, not just because of the adaptability that it provides, that framework that has been so durable, but also because of the way that it is evolving and coming to terms with a really febrile job market, where so much is changing, and not just in terms of economic uncertainty at the moment, but also in terms of the way that technology is impacting on the way that different industries operate. How do you feel that AI is going to impact on things in the years to come?
I mean, I think you could do a whole podcast on AI, to be honest. But I think it's going to have a massive impact. It's certainly something we've been talking about a lot within the college landscape for a few years now. And it's about being that one step ahead of what we think it might look like. And that's both in terms of how can it support our curriculum, in terms of, can it save us time? Can it save us, resources by being more efficient? Can we use it in a positive, productive way and actually gain something from using it? And how we protect our students so that they're still getting the actual learning, they're not relying on that too heavily. I mean, the thing is, it's here. you know, and students are using it, and you know, a lot of them are using it for a positive manner in terms of research and things like that. But we just need to make sure that they're supported and they know, you know, the best ways to use it and to get the most positive things out of it rather than focusing on the negatives, because it's not really going anywhere. But I think that will also have an impact then on what sort of jobs are then created as well, and what, you know, they could become AI content creators, for example, you know, jobs that they've maybe never even thought of. So I think it's, for us, it's, we have to keep AI at the forefront, because it is going to have, and it is already having, a really big impact, both positively and somewhat negatively, on the college further education landscape.
Yeah, because that's certainly something that we hear a lot of in publishing, you know, is this idea that there are certain things that AI can do better than others, and the real life content where people are talking about their own experiences and their own employment experiences as much as their sort of real life day-to-day experiences seems to be an area that AI is less adept replicating in comparison to factual content, and that I find that very interesting, because there are so many case studies of students who've spoken about how well they feel Forth Valley College has supported them as individuals in terms of their learning experience. I think it's really interesting and also really important that you know, individuals speak about being you know, treated as individuals, you know, in a world that you know, risks being so impersonal as a result of AI. So I think that that individual aspect, that aspect of individual personality and character, matters so much on a learning journey. Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that that's something in college that we try to really focus on, is that individual learning journey, because you know, they've been in school where there's maybe been a class of 30 of them. They come to college, it's much smaller, you know, they've got maybe 16 to 20 people in the class, so they've got a lot more attention from that respect. But I think as well, because the subjects are quite specific as well, so it means that we can really hone in on what the students want from that course. And a lot of the learning, although it's prescribed by, you know, the warden bodies and things like that, at the same time, a lot of the learning can be quite student-led. And I think that's also really important, you know, and something that we call sort of flipping the classroom, in terms of putting the putting the onus back onto the students to do a bit of their own learning. And it's that learning to learn type thing that, you know, they should be doing that at school as well. This, you know, we need to teach people the best way to learn. But I think college really solidifies that, because, you know, they have to be self-motivated, they have to, you know, be instinctive, you know, they have to be, you know, they just have to push themselves really to get the best out of their class. And I think that having the smaller class numbers is key to that for the lecturer, certainly, in terms of having that one-to-one, or, you know, smaller group interactions. And I think also the support levels that they get within the college is also key to that. We have support and guidance advisors, learning mentors, we have, you know, student support services, student association, the LRC, Learning and Resource Centre, you know, and these are all built around providing a sort of whole agency type support for students to get the best out of their learning journey, because we want them to stay and we want them to succeed. And that also applies again for adult learners in terms of their lifelong learning journey, because they can often be the most worried about coming to college or returning to education, so we need to make sure that we are, you know, sort of anticipating that and supporting them as well.
And with the new term fast approaching, are there any new courses that you would like to spotlight, which are either coming up this year or in the next couple of years?
We do have the new Film and Media course, which is really linked to the funding that we've received from Screen Scotland and linked to the development of the new film studios. So I would definitely like to spotlight that one. That was a really exciting one coming up, and I think a big area for growth. I mean, there's lots of opportunities within health and social care. It's a huge growing market for the college and the local community. I think the growth in that area over the next 5 to 10 years will be huge, just because we're an ageing population. So yeah, it's really key that we are, as a college, trying to support that growth in those areas. So they're always diversifying and growing. And I think just the resurgence of the tourism and hospitality in general, you know, I'd say that they're the other key areas of growth, particularly in Stirling area. You know, there's huge opportunities there for rural tourism, sustainable hospitality. I mean, there's just masses of opportunities out there for them.
And one final question. You've mentioned the Forth Valley College website where people can find out lots more about the various different campuses and the courses that are available. But if people wanted to follow Forth Valley College via social media, what channels are available that they can sign up to?
Yeah, I would say the main one is Instagram, but we're also on Facebook as well, and Twitter. So all three.
Yep. So I hope that if you're interested in further education and all of the various different opportunities that are available, that you'll find out more about it, sign up to the social media channels, check out the website and see what's available. So Karyn, thanks very much for joining us today for what's been a really interesting discussion.
Yeah, thanks Tom. No, I've really enjoyed it. It's been great. I'm very passionate about lifelong learning and adult education and further education, so it's been really great to chat.
And thanks very much for having tuned in. I hope that you'll join us again soon.